837, how's it going today? How's everybody doing?
Hello.
Woo!
Woo! Wow.
You excited to be here today? All right, there we go. Sounds like it. I'll tell you what, it's been a great turnout all week. This takes the cake. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Chris Langlois.
And I am Ivy Cho. We are a part of the Samsung team and so excited that all of you are here joining us at Samsung 837, our flagship experience store in the heart of Manhattan's Meatpacking District. So it is our fourth and final day of 837 Next, which has been our week-long series of panels, live discussions, and performances during the fourth annual NFT NYC Week. So yeah, give it up. So fun fact, last night we had DJ Toro y moi up here until about 2 a.m.
There's a balloon drop,
there
right?
Were balloons
I mean,
dropping
hundreds.
from the third floor.
If you find a spare balloon around here, that answers that question.
You can keep it. And so we wish this week really wasn't ending. It's been so fun.
Really has. We've learned a lot, so much about the future of Web3, about the future of NFTs, how they're just truly changing the art world really fundamentally as we know it. So we've loved hearing from creators, artists, emerging tech innovators, all in this fantastic space. It's been so great to meet people in person here, and also for those tuning in from our brand new Discord server. If you haven't checked that out, you definitely want to do that today. And also for all of our guests at 837X in Decentraland.
Our Metaverse. So to keep things rolling, you are about to hear an incredible founders panel, so why we are all here. It's an amazing collaboration between Spatial, Ready Player Me, and the Fabricant. Please join me in welcoming Spatial's Director of Marketing Partnerships, Gianna Valentina.
Hello, 837 Samsung. How are you guys? And to all our Spatial creators, Ready Player Me partners, Fabricant, and World of Women lovers, I am so honored. Today is really a celebration. I mean, people are expressing themselves more deeply in Web3 now, right? As we start to think about our physical identities, it's important to think of how that transcends into our digital presence. So I couldn't be more honored today to introduce the founders of Spatial.io, Ready Player Me, and the Fabricant to stage.
What's up, Meatpacking? What's up, second floor?
Oh my God, so let's just have some fun, right? Today we're exploring digital identities, right? What does that really mean? And all of these founders here are paving the way for the future of Web3 and how we all interact in this space. Anand, I mean, I gotta say at Spatial, since we pivoted in December, I mean, we've seen some changes on the platform. What are you most excited about since we pivoted to focus on creators?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. It's going to be a great day. Thank you for being part of us, part of this journey. And I see a lot of familiar faces, some OG creators who've been building on the platform. And that's really what I'm excited about, is like giving people a new paintbrush, this digital paintbrush, this digital canvas to express themselves. Like, when we see what people are doing, you know, we started off as a enterprise collaboration company in like a virtual boardroom, and our creators took us to like the next level. They took us to frickin' Mars. They took us to, you know what I mean, on mountaintops. They took us to like virtual galleries, and just the amount of creativity and energy going into the platform just blows me away every day. And I'm most excited about shining a light on it. The stuff is like the amount of stuff happening on the platform, even right now, right? There's like dance parties going down. There's all kinds of stuff. So to be able to shine a light on that and surface it is something I'm crazy excited about.
Yeah, me too. I heard a stat the other day. We have over 8 million minutes in Spatial every single month. That means people are really enjoying themselves. They're creating and they're building. You know, Jinha, as one of the founders of Spatial, what are you most excited about when we talk about how we're supporting creators? That's so important for us at Spatial. What's next?
Yeah, first of all, like Anand said, there's so many exciting activities happening in Spatial, even right now. And I think our next chapter will be all about like how do we surface them up and let people discover all these cool activities. It's almost like you can come to Spatial and you can travel between different cool happening spaces, like you travel in the real world, and you can do that with your friends, and it doesn't stop at just exploring. You can make connections. You can follow the creators who have like a long-lasting relationship. and you can also like follow your friends and make friends. And yeah, everything that happens in Spatial, it doesn't just happen and that's it. It can be a permanent thing that can continue to evolve and grow. So that Metaverse is all about the human connection. So we want to support that. Spatial's philosophy has always been like empowering creators and making it accessible and lowering the bar for creation. And we're going further beyond what we currently have. And there's going to be more way to customize your space. It's going to be so much easier to apply your personality to your home and your spaces. There will be infinite kind of variation of spaces that you can easily create. So yeah, there's so many things that we have in plan, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, that does make me excited. It's funny. So a couple of months ago, if anybody came to Spatial, we only had half body avatars, right? They had no legs. So, which I think a lot of us remember. So it really was a match made in heaven the day that, Ready Player Me came into the platform. It really changed everything for us. Our creators started to express themselves more deeply. Timu, I know that Ready Player Me is leading the charge in interoperability, which is so important to the growth of Web3. Why is interoperability important now?
Yes, thank you. Thank you everyone for being here. It's awesome to see you. I hope you have a good time. So what Ready Player Me does is we create interoperable avatars that travel through many different virtual worlds. We work with more than 3,000 different companies that use our avatars in their games and in their virtual worlds. And why that is important is, there's kind of two potential futures for the metaverse. One future is where we live in one big virtual world controlled by one big company, like in the movie Ready Player One. And I don't think that's the world any of us wants to see. It's just too much power for one company. Another future is where there are thousands and millions of developers and creators working together, building the metaverse, and there's a world for everyone. There's a world for every kind of preference. And that is a more collaborative world, and it's a world where nobody controls the metaverse. It's like more like internet than a big game, essentially. And we think that's very important. And interoperability and kind of services that connect worlds and make it easy for people to travel between worlds, have the same identity, have the same assets. Those services are what make that world possible. We believe avatars are a huge part of that, and that's why we've been building avatars for the last 8 years, actually. From hardware to custom building avatar technology to big companies, and now for the last few years, Ready Player Me. Yes, and thank you again for coming here. We're very happy to see all of you.
Yeah, I love that. And Casper, I mean, it's funny because Ready Player Me is over, so many different integrations. But what I really love about Ready Player Me, of course, is the fashion. How is the fashion and your partnerships, with Ready Player Me helping people start to express themselves more deeply?
Yeah, it's a good question. So if you think about virtual identity, it's partly like who you are and how you look, but there's a big component of self-expression as well. So the way we think about brands and fashion is in the form of like identity. It's a part of your identity. So our job here is to just like make sure that people have an access to as wide library of outfits as they want, so they could express themselves virtually. But you also do think that the outfit that you wear tells a big story about who you are. So again, like our job is to make sure that there's accessibility to this, and there's as many brands creating outfits, more diverse clothing on the platform, so everyone part of the network benefits.
I love that. It's funny, so when Ready Player Me first integrated with Spatial, why we loved them so much was first the interoperability, right? That sense that you can come in Spatial, it'll be your home, and then you can go maybe and visit another platform, right? But you'd still be able to be yourself. And I thank both of you, because when you first came to Spatial, we pushed a little hard, At Spatial, we really believe that everybody has a place.
Sorry.
I mean, everything from hijabs, for women, right? Saris. And we'll keep pushing that forward as partners. And we start that today, working with the Fabricant, who has been an incredible partner to all of us. Adriana, the Fabricant is constantly pushing the limits of fashion in the metaverse. Why is fashion important to self-expression?
Yeah, great question. And actually, before I answer, I'd like to shed a light on our creative director, which is really the muse of this answer, I would say. And if anything, it's a pity she's not next to me. She's behind me, she's in front of me. But she's a co-founder of the Fabricant together with Carrie Murphy, which unfortunately is not here today. But we started with Amber's vision, and the vision that actually fashion is all about self-expression and is about unlimited self-expression. And I think that is the beauty of the metaverse. And if we are living our lives digitally, we should be having that self-expression available. We do the fashion side, and it's a deliberate choice. And a lot of people ask us many times, why don't you bring avatars? We believe that there are enough avatars out there walking naked. And we are there to provide the wardrobe of the metaverse. But not through ourselves. We want to enable that. We want to enable a movement of digital fashion to exist and challenge the existing fashion paradigm. And when we came together with the team of World of Women, one of the things I love two things. One thing that I love is the fact that we are calling more women into stage. Thank you, Gigi, for being here, but there are still too many men, let's be honest.
Agreed.
We need more girls.
They are champions of women, though.
Yeah, we need more of them there. But the second thing that I love from a challenger point of view, to me, World of Women is a lifestyle brand. I was yesterday in the amazing event that they put together in the rooftop. It's such a love brand. Oh my God, like you wanted to do it all, you want to engage it. And this is the new paradigm. World of Women has a digital fashion line, right? What does it mean, Stefano, for the fashion world? What does it mean for this new paradigm shift that our love brands are living in the metaverse? And with the Fabricant, you can actually have your metaverse fashion presence. That's what we want to achieve with labels, with creators, and ultimately with fashion brands that embrace the Web3 movement as well. So to make a long story long, we love to be here with these guys because you are, again, also enabling that, enabling identity, enabling experiences. And I think we're starting like a long-term relationship today, which is super exciting.
I totally agree. I mean, when you look at everyone on stage, realize this, you know, it has to be a combination. We all have to collaborate, right? We're looking at the platform, right? When you come into Web3, you start with your environment. It's about ownership, right? So you build something that's yours. You're expressing yourself through a three-dimensional space. And that hopefully will be with us at Spatial. And then the next part is, who are you in that space, right? The internet is evolving, guys. And we talk about the metaverse all the time, but let's just dumb it down. It's the internet in 3D. And now we're using it even more to share with each other, to express things, to be together. Now, you know, after that, you have your avatar. And in that moment, you can be the person that you feel inside, right? It doesn't matter who we are here when we're in the digital realm, right? It's truly our unconsciousness being together. And I think that's really important to have our avatar system work with our platforms. And on top of that, we have to make sure that our clothing, just in the physical world, reflects who we are. So I couldn't thank you all for being trailblazers in this space, for caring about identity, for caring about how this technology is going to serve humanity in the future. And I'd love to hear any ending thoughts from all of you.
No, I mean, I'm just excited. I was just saying earlier, like, there's a cool kind of OG collab here because these guys have been doing it for 8 years. Spatial's been doing it for 6 years. We've been through like every hardware device, DK1, DK2, HoloLens 1, Quest 1, Oculus Go, Cardboard. You know what I mean? Our eyes, I'm surprised we can still see straight, but it's like, but I think it's just amazing to see, like, but from day one, we've been trying to like help people make beautiful things, and it's just so cool. Like the community here, so many of our creators have come down, and you know now with the Power Ready Player Me, they have legs, they can walk around, they can dance, you know, they can jump. You know, they're super swaggy, they're super stylish, you know, so it's amazing to be in partnership with you guys. It's amazing to bring, I mean, Fabricant, like, man, how much you're elevating the fashion. Like, that's the other really inspiring thing about building a digital platform for creators, because you put tools out there, and then artists love constraints. They will blow them out of the water and do all kinds of crazy stuff, like add mountains or whatever. Like Michael Potts, one of our creators here, we didn't have virtual environment support, so or ability to kind of scale or zoom out. Like his story is amazing to me because he basically went and rented a huge warehouse so he could actually walk outside the model in VR and adjust it, and so the conversation that we get to build by building the platform, the artists push us, then we try to catch up, and then they already surpass that. That's an amazing thing to do together, and it's awesome to do it with all these wonderful partners here on stage.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and I would say like what that space might be needing more of, and what all of us are working towards is actually usable, great consumer experiences. It needs to be easy to jump into a world. It needs to be easy to create an avatar. The goal we all have and share is like getting the next 100 million people, the next billion people to use those like kind of new worlds and products. And it all comes down to actually usable, great experiences, and I think that's the focus for all of us here. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
There's some people saying the metaverse is the latest iteration of the internet, but I would say the metaverse is the latest iteration of cultures. I think that's sort of
Powerful.
where we're all. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, super excited to see more of this, another art kind of merging and come up with something that's more inspiring and something that we couldn't imagine before. So really excited to see this happening, not in individual level, but also now partners level. So very excited. Anything else?
Honestly, I have nothing to add anymore. I think you guys covered the main points, and I'm really glad that all of you came here so we can meet up with you, and we can all talk about the future that we want to build together.
Yeah, and same final thoughts. Is a new space is all about collaboration. We're working very hard, as you guys are, to make it easy. I think the next phase for all of us that embrace this space is to bring more people in, right? It still feels like we're talking to each other and vibing, but let's bring the rest of the world and be able to collaborate together in a larger ways more and more, and be able to express ourselves without limits. But thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so we're going to be exploring more identities in the next panels coming up. And stay tuned. We have an incredible unveiling of this partnership at the end.
Ooh.
So cannot wait. And we'll see you for the rest of the show.
Ooh.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, great. So thank you to Gia and to this incredible panel. We are actually, next up, going to be bringing back someone we just had on stage. We're going to be discussing the impact that female creators have on this very rapidly evolving space. So to lead that, we have a panel titled The Women of Web3. And we're going to have the co-founder and COO of the Fabricant, Adriana Hoffenbauer, back up on stage to lead this. Let's find her. Adriana? Yeah. Come on back up. So yeah, we're so excited to welcome you back to host the Women of Web3 panel. So she'll be introducing all of the fabulous women coming to join us on stage. There you go. Okay, great.
Okay, no, it's a huge pleasure to have a stage full of amazing women that are building in this space. So I'd love to welcome Bettina from Vogue Singapore. And Krista Kim, the amazing Krista Kim. Maggie from Shify. Christine from BFF. Shannon. And we need one more seat. I'm going to stand. I'm going to stand for the Queen. Amber J. Okay, guys. One thing is, I hope this is the last time that we need to have a Women in Web3 panel. Woo. Let's make it the last time. But while we are here, it's a great moment to celebrate because all these amazing women are making strides. They're trailblazers, they're pushing the boundaries, they are making a mark on everything that they do. And I would like to start this panel with first introduce yourself and tell me what you're doing in the Web3 space. Starting with Amber.
Yeah, wow, amazing. I'm co-founder and creative director of the Fabricant. Obviously, we make digital-only clothing, never ever physical. Remember, guys. And yeah, we try to push the boundaries of what self-expression means in the metaverse and in digital world and in general. Because to me, self-expression is healing. When you are able to express yourself the way you really feel like you are, that is something extremely healing for people to experience. Maybe you're able to try different identities, different ways of being inside of these virtual spaces, like I did when I was younger. It really opens up the freedom for you to be able to be yourself and to feel more confident about yourself in the real world. So to me, self-expression is the core of everything that we do. So I'm very excited to be here and to be here with all of these incredible women. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Krista Kim, and I am a digital artist, and now I'm a Metaverse world builder. I started my Metaverse journey by creating the Mars House, which is the first Metaverse house that was sold as an NFT in history. And, thank you. And since then, many people have asked me, when are you building your next house? But, as an artist, I'm not here to sell real estate. I'm here to change the world, make it better. So my ethos and my purpose has been to create worlds. I've started a new startup called Zero, the number 0.xyz, with my co-founder, Peter Martin. Our mission is to create a better metaverse, a metaverse that elevates human potential through immersive experiences. And that includes education, health and wellness, led by art, because art heals, as we have already discussed. We all know that art and immersive experiences are what touches us as human beings, what brings us together, has the potential of changing the world and making it better. The metaverse is the greatest art project in human history, and so we need to collaborate, co-create, and Web3 definitely is female energy of cooperation. Thank you.
Woohoo! Hey everybody, my name is Mek. I'm an artist in this space first, but as I came in to try and figure out what it all was, I experienced so many layers of friction. I became an educator. I felt that it was really important for me to focus on what it looked like to distill what I was learning so that someone who didn't know as much as me could understand it. So I think my claim to fame in the early Clubhouse days was that I onboarded Gary Vee in a weird way in an 8,000 person room. But the idea that this space has so much more to offer than market making. And so I tend to lean into the theory that if we onboard 10,000 non-white guys, we might be a little better in shifting into the culture of something that's more inclusive. So yeah, I've just been focused on that, and also I'm a head of community for Steve Aoki's Aokiverse and innovation consultant on Deadfellas, which is one of my favorite projects. If you know Betty, you know the sentiment. Yeah, and so yeah, just here, happy to share what I know, what insight I have, and be amongst some women who are really crushing it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bettina. I'm the publisher of Vogue Singapore and co-founder of a marketplace called Brighthall at the intersection of fashion and tech. My journey started during COVID time. I think a lot of people had the same journey, and looking into the space from really innovation, from an innovation perspective. We have launched our publication 2 years ago in lockdown, and therefore technology and innovation was key to make it happen. And we integrated AR, VR, all of this new tech into our storytelling. And we had amazing metaverse editors such as Krista, helping us to understand the space, to really build our community. And Amber was part as well as of our September issue for New Beginnings. So some of the fashion people here, especially in the US, potentially questioned what have you done? Because we put on the cover of Vogue Singapore a QR code that brings you into the metaverse with the beautiful covers that have been designed by these amazing women. So it is a journey for us. It's very new to us, and I'm really happy to be here, even though I feel I don't deserve the place yet, and look forward to have more collaborations with all of you guys.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maggie Love. 6 years ago today, I went to the Barnes & Noble in Union Square, and I typed blockchain in the search, picked up the blockchain revolution, and fell down the rabbit hole. I co-founded my first company in 2018. It's called Web3 Cloud. It's a joint venture between AMD and Consensus. We were talking a lot about hardware today. We're big believers in the metaverse, in Web3, and we want to help all builders of the metaverses scale that. What I'm here to talk about today is in 2019, I looked around, decentralized finance was popping up, and all of the people building the new global financial settlement layer and saying that it's going to change the world looked like the people benefiting from the traditional financial world. So in 2020, I launched SheFi, DeFi, SheFi. So SheFi believes financial freedom is feminine, and it empowers women and non-binary folks to unlock financial freedom through crypto education, experimentation, and community. So what that looks like tactically is a boot camp where you're going to learn about a use case, you're going to learn how to do it, we're going to incentivize you to do it, and then you're going to have a global community supporting you. We have people from 40 countries, including Adriana, and we have about 500 people that have been through the boot camp, and we're looking to onboard 1,000 in September. I'm super passionate about inclusion. I don't want the same people left out of this current financial system where we receive less in our paychecks, we receive less investments, and then we have the whole system of patriarchy outside of the workplace against us, to be left out in this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build, market, be the financer, build wealth, and talk about money. We're going to talk about money in Web3, and finance is going to be feminine. Thank you.
Christine. Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Terrio. I'm the Partnerships Director at BFF. We are a project that started 6 months ago, which is incredible. It's insane how things go so fast in this space. We started with a kickoff event that included everything from crypto and NFT 101 to a little bit of introductions into the space and demysticizing some of the skepticism in all of Web3. And we onboarded thousands of women and non-binary individuals into the space. We conducted some data, which was really interesting. And out of the bracelets that we airdropped for free into people's wallets, 91% identified as women and non-binary individuals, and 46% had never even had a wallet. So we had everything from our social platforms to a text messaging service to allow people a point of accessibility, to be able to ask questions, to be able to come as their authentic selves into a space where they could connect and learn and be a part of something special in what we really consider to be the future of technology. And with that being said, it's been an incredible experience, especially this week, seeing our ethos really come to life as BFFs. I've seen everything from official events to people come together and seeing avatar to faces for the first time and being that quintessential BFF meeting friends in Web3 to the unofficial Central Park meetups where people come together for picnics and talk about everything from getting rugged to their latest finds. So this space is just really special, and we're here to build a platform that not only allows people to come and connect and and be educated, but we're also putting a big stress on technology as a whole. We're launching everything from a Launchpad program, accelerator, to ensure that there's more utility and purpose within the space, and making sure that we're doing so with a thoughtful lens of diversity, inclusion, and giving people a place, once again, to be their authentic selves, whether you identify as LGBTQIA or if you just want to come into a community to learn and wherever you're at and not be judged. BFF is a place to guide you and hold your hand. So thank you for being here, everyone. It is an awesome opportunity to be here in Web3 right now.
What an incredible group. I'm so excited about this. Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Snow. I'm the new COO of World of Women. For those of you who may not be familiar, World of Women is a global NFT community standing for representation, inclusion, and equality for all. Our incredible artist, Yam Karkai, and co-founder, set out to create incredible art, and she saw that at that time when she was launching that the PFP and profile pic movement didn't really represent what she wanted to see in Web3. It was only male, it was not inclusive, and so she thought, what if I create a collection that women and diverse people are going to use as their profile pic and represent more? So that was in July when the collection launched. Since then, World of Women has had 2 sold-out collections, World of Women as well as World of Women Galaxy. Yam has gone on to become the #1 NFT selling artist of all time. And we've built an incredible community across the world of fans standing for inclusion in the next generation of the web.
Amazing. Wow, what a power here. So because we don't have the full afternoon, which I would love to have, we're going to do a second round, and I'm going to direct a question to 2 people. Yeah, so the first question I have is for Mac and Maggie. You are educators in this space. So what do you think is important to bring more women to Web3 from an educational point of view? Maggie, you want to go first?
Yes, what I think is important is to make it really accessible. I don't really love the terms, we're dumbing it down, we're making it easy. I want all of us to believe we're going to be lifelong learners. I want us to have many careers, many hobbies, many inspirations over a lifetime, and so I want to change that notion. We're going to make it fun, we're going to make it accessible, we're going to use analogies that make sense, and also we're not going to gloss over some of the nitty-gritties. In order to really take part in Web3, you have to know some of the technicals. What is this being built on? What is a smart contract? Women are risk aware. They're not just going to give their money easily to some platform by someone going, click here, click here, click here, click here. Doesn't matter what it is. So I think women want to know what is going in there. How do I look it up? What is a smart contract? And I think we need to demystify that that's something we can't learn by making it fun and accessible. For example, when I teach stablecoins, which are tokens matched 1-to-1 for the US dollar, I call it What's DAI Got to Do With It. If you're familiar with that, it's a Tina Turner song. So fun, accessible, and giving you the full comprehensive view so you can be a more knowledgeable consumer of more crypto information outside of the course.
Thanks.
Yeah, I wanted you to go first because I know you focus on bringing women in, and I don't generally focus on women. I think for me it's a more concerted effort to think about everybody but the cisgender like it's very homogenous, and it's how do we look at making this space inclusive for any and everybody who wants to come in, because I think it's very easy to look at it from a technical standpoint and say it's difficult and you need to try and make it accessible, try and meet people where they are. But I think part of it is really just seeing a space where you actually can play, right? So I focus on figuring out how to help people transfer skills, right? And so if women are working in specific fields, whether it's communications or marketing, I think about how they can bring their skills into this space because those are still very needed skills that are not focused on, right? And so I approach it from the perspective of what are you interested in? And generally I'm speaking to women. And so I'm not thinking about how to cater a curriculum for them, but more how to bring them into the conversation so that they see the opportunity. Because I think once that happens, doesn't matter how difficult it is technologically, you're gonna wanna be here.
Love it. So see the opportunity and understand what's under the hood. Amazing. All right, my next question goes to Christine and Shannon, because you guys create these amazing communities. And I love your take of diverse communities, right? And I think that is the spirit. What is the tip you have for anybody that wants to create a diverse, amazing community like the ones you created?
So I think one of the reasons that I was personally attracted to buying A World of Women before I became a member of the company was the authenticity. It was an authentic project, really focused on the authentic passion of our founders. And I think that is also just a really key piece to building a community. You want to create a safe place where people can be authentic. All of the work that you are doing at Fabricant is all about expressing yourself, feeling the joy of expressing ourselves. We're so limited by how we look, and I think in the metaverse we can hopefully be in a place where we wear our hearts on the outside and we show our values in our identity, and so creating a space where it's safe to be your authentic self and then let the community take it from there.
Thank you.
I think it's so important. Representation matters. And we really see that in the way that we have forged our community, the way that we have brought on hires, the way that we have created these types of event spaces and activations and access points. Recently, actually, for Pride, we partnered with Decentraland to be part of their Pride Parade, and we had this giant Zeppelin that was rainbow colored and beautiful, and people jumped into the metaverse for the first time for both that event, and we also recently had a party to kick off our perk shop, which is this really cool idea that we had that allows you to receive bonus perks that are associated with the traits of your NFT and having an interface to do so. So I think that we are creating our communities and making sure that they feel seen, making sure that they feel heard, and just understanding that everyone needs to be able to have a place for their voice and also to be able to interact in new ways, because the metaverse is just so incredible to experience, and we need to be able to push people to do that. And I love seeing companies like Spatial really pushing the boundaries to do that, and it's just the way to approach the future.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Question specific to Krista, because you are like a phenomenal artist and entrepreneur, right? You kind of move all across the needle. What is your take on bringing more female entrepreneurs into the Web3 space? So what would be your kind of learnings and advice?
Just do it.
Love it. Love it.
Just fucking do it.
Yes.
What's holding you back? Web3 is a wonderful space because anyone can enter. There's no barrier to entry. The only barrier is your mind.
Yes.
Your limitations in your own mind.
Yes.
So if you have an idea, if you have a passion, Web3 is where you'll find your tribe. So what you need to do is you need to find people who have the skills that you don't. So you have to really know who you are, what value you bring to a community. It's a very spiritual question. And you make teams. You create teams with people with the skills to make it all happen. I'm an artist. I'm not the best business person, okay? Let's get that straight. We have an incredible COO, Christy McClear, who actually was the first CEO for Superblue with Pace Gallery.
Yes.
So, and Peter Martin, of course, who's the CEO. I mean, he's been in the industry for 20 years. He's an OG in the space. So I lean on the people that are the best in what they do, and I know my weaknesses. Be real and just do it.
Amazing. And collaborate. That's a space of collaboration for sure. Okay, the final question needs to be fashion related.
Ow!
The two fashion ladies here, Amber and Bettina. How do we use fashion, or use is a bit of a strong word, but how can fashion play a role to bring more women into Web3?
Obviously, fashion is, we spoke about it before, a form of self-expression, and there is no difference in the metaverse or in real life. I guess that fashion from a personal perspective, it's your identity, playing with it, being playful with what you are and how you want to be seen. From a professional or, let's say, from a business perspective, I believe that the fashion industry has to change, and Web3 is an opportunity to make this change for women in the fashion industry, because we still see 80% of the management in fashion it's run by white men in suits. Nothing against suits, but I think we need to really make a change there. And Web3, I mean,
that tickled me.
And I really strongly believe that it's our responsibility to bring in new talents and to really, not only the educational part, but as well from an entrepreneurial point of view. You need to build, your HR that is alert that they should bring in more female into the discussion. There are structures that we have to operate within to change them. So I'm coming from a legacy business and I'm trying to change these kind of parameters to make it easier for women in Web3. And I find this space fascinating and really beautiful because there are so many, opportunities for us. And I strongly believe that we need to have a female voice in this space. And I understand, that we have a lot of developers and the technical part of it. I struggled in my journey, to understand what a drop is and, all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, we need the emotions in this place. We need the warmth in this place because we have only one more chance, to be very honest, to create something which is much better in the fashion industry than what we have created so far. I mean, we could speak about like waste, the sustainability topic. There's a lot that is added to this. But I believe, and I'm 100% with Krista here, let's do it. And if we can do it, just the little steps. Do it within your company, do it within your community, and make this change. We have no more time.
I couldn't agree more, Bettina. I think, I find it very strange that there's so little female creative directors in fashion houses. I mean, let's talk about that, right? It's very crazy. And for me, like, not to have any examples in tech is also very crazy. I have to say, I did not have many examples. Like, to me, Krista is an example, for instance. Like, we don't really have much representation. All we see is, like, Steve Jobs, leading the tech. And to me, like, that is not the way we should go about it. And especially as young artists, I didn't believe in the way things were done, in this endless competition where we're all like fighting to be on top, elbowing our way through. Like, I remember the fashion industry, you have to be like, yeah, I'll go behind your back, so I can be up top. Like, I don't feel anything for that. I think it's ridiculous and it has to stop. Young creators need to be credited for their work. They need to earn the money that they deserve. And brands no longer can steal from young designers. Like, that is even still happening, right? Like, how many brands are stealing from young creators? I mean, and we just go about it like it's nothing. To me, Web3 is going to be the base of what this creativity can mean for these young creators, for these new communities, and how we're going to build communities together. And if I can do it in 4 years, building the Fabricant, nobody heard about us 4 years ago. If I can do it, anyone can. We are the living example. So to me, that is where the power lies. Creativity is on top, always.
Woo, woo. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening in. Thank you, these amazing women. It is a celebration moment. This is the last panel of Women in Web3. You're never going to see it again. Let's fucking do it. Woo. Thank you. Thank you, Adrian.
Well, Adriana and all of our panelists, thank you so much for being here today. How are we doing so far? We're learning a lot of good conversation, right? Everyone's having a good time? I see a lot of nodding, but I don't hear anything. Is everyone having a good time? It's been good? Perfect. We have a lot in store for us. Again, fantastic turnout that we've received so far. It's because of that I have to sound like that guy. I hate being that guy in my life, but I do know we're getting a lot of conversations and a lot of noise, especially from the front of our facility here. If we could, out of complete respect for the panelists, for the moderators, keep those conversations to a minimum. People who are here giving some great insight, we'd really appreciate that. For everyone at home watching virtually, you're all set. Make all the noise you want. Cook, clean, like whatever you got to do, you make all the noise you want. All right, with that said, we're keeping the fun going. We're exploring evolving ideas of digital identities coming up next, and how this concept's just really going to continue to grow in Web3. So we're very excited to have Spatial's head of growth leading this conversation on digital identities. Please welcome to the stage right now, Jacob Lowenstein is going to be joining us.
How's everyone doing? I'm very attention-seeking, so can I just get another round of applause, please? Thank you. Thank you. All right, I want to now invite our incredible panelists on stage. In no particular order, I'm going to start because she has so much knowledge to drop, it could not be contained in one panel. Can we get Krista Kim back up on the stage? Thank you very much, Krista. You know him, you love him, you've listened to him as the lights are dimmed down and that incredible mood sinks in. We get Grammy Award-winning artist Miguel up on stage. Let's go. Honestly, his eye is incredible. If you've seen his photography, it's pretty jaw-dropping. He recently dropped his Genesis collection and his work with some of the biggest brands in the world, like Nike, Adidas, and more. I want to welcome the beautifully named Trash Hand to the stage. We get Trash up here. Let's go. And last and only least, because he's moving from New York to Miami, boo, incredible, incredible Grammy-winning producer, Illmind. We love him. He's made some of the best music we've ever heard, and he continues to. He's up on stage. All right. So are we good? People on top, how's my hair? Am I balding? Good to see you. Okay. So I wanted to give everyone here just an opportunity to kind of jump in and talk a little bit about something that's important to them. So I want to start with Krista, and then we're going to go down the line a little bit. But Krista, you're a pioneering, wonderful digital artist, but over many conversations that we've had together, something that I've heard from you over and over again, which I think is incredibly interesting, is that you have a humanistic and wellness-driven approach to creating your art. What does that mean to you?
So my artistic epiphany occurred when I lived in Japan. And I lived in Tokyo for 3.5 years. And when I visited Kyoto for the first time and I encountered the Ryoanji Temple Garden, one of the oldest Zen gardens in the world, I learned that art and this garden can actually bring upon every viewer a state of Zen, like a mirror of the mind. And so art with higher states of consciousness and intention can heal, can become a public service for humanity. And so eventually when I moved to Singapore and I was doing my master's in fine art, my thesis was really influenced by my stay in Japan. It was light and the sublime. How can I use the screen that's ubiquitous, that is causing FOMO and mental health issues in me and anxiety, narcissism? How can I use the screen as a mechanism for healing and meditativeness and wellness, humanity? And so that has been my mission ever since 2013. And so now going into the metaverse, of course, the Mars House, which I created during the height of the COVID crisis, is a house of Zen. It's an escape, a place where I can go and heal in VR. And I wasn't thinking about metaverse at the time until Jacob reached out to me after the Mars House was launched and it was sold as an NFT. He and his team contacted me, and their brilliant idea was, Krista, we want you to be part of our family. We'll bring the Mars House to Spatial. I said, yes. And ever since then, I've invited people to the Mars House for these sublime meditative experiences. And I met my partner, Peter Martin, for the first time in VR 1 year ago in VR. And we met. Yeah.
Can we get an applause for that anniversary? Come on. I need a participatory audience.
Stand up here. I won't make you stand up. It was such a sublime experience because I learned that in the metaverse you can have a human connection of consciousness and a real, connection with another person as an avatar in the metaverse. So yes, that's my answer.
It's a beautiful journey. One quick follow-up, and I'm curious about. So the idea here is we're doing digital identity. If you ask 10 people in the audience what that means, they give you 10 different answers. One thing I'm really curious about is the identity of your community and how they've expressed themselves in the Mars House. Can you talk a little bit how people reacted to this Zen experience in the metaverse and what it either inhibited or disinhibited in them in terms of how they express themselves?
You know how when people are on vacation, they're really open? You don't have baggage and you're a new person, fresh in a new country. Well, when you're in the metaverse, it's a very similar experience where you're almost like a child and you're sort of like born into a new place where the reality of the real world falls away. And so that is a real perception paradigm shift. So when you're in a space like the metaverse, you are authentically you. And when you are like really authentically you and you're engaging with another person who's in a state of wonder also, then it's a really magical interaction and a magical connection that occurs. So digital identity is not only about avatars and fashion. That is an extension of who you are, yes, how you express yourself. But truly, I believe that digital identity in the metaverse is going to transform humanity. We're going to reach a cultural shift of transcendence, where future generations that are metaverse native are going to experience life without boundaries and divisions. And they will become more fluid as a result. We're going to see much more peace in the world, I believe, because younger generations are going to interact with each other without all the baggage of race, religion, geography, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you so much for that. I'm now going to, in a very abrupt way, turn to the incredible Miguel, because I want to switch topics. He's like mid saying hey to his fans up there. It's all good, it's all good. I got a little question for you. Okay, so you've created some of my favorite music ever. They say you should never meet your heroes, and yet here I am. But now you're branching out. You're the creative director of S1C, and I'm just curious, now that you're sort of entering Web3, maybe entering the metaverse, like, what different parts of your own creative identity do you want to explore beyond just your musical identity?
Well, I guess the most important part is probably community building. I think that's probably the most important part in terms of what we're building. I think the opportunity that we're afforded to connect with people from all different places, works of life, and around an idea that things can be decentralized that's probably my biggest focus, is like how can I offer something that's valuable in real life and also build a community around that. And I think that's why we're all here. We're all here because we're in some way, shape, or form understanding that community is everything. And that's why I love what you said earlier, just about not having boundaries. Boundaries are what really fuck the world. It's people thinking that
Put
there's
that on
some...
a t-shirt, please.
Yeah.
Boundaries are what fuck the world, 100%. Can I get an applause for boundaries fucking the world?
Yeah.
No more boundaries.
It's going on an S1C shirt. It's going on. But yeah, that's sort of my, as a musician, kind of stepping into a different place. That's really why I'm here in general, just because I see that you can build community, and I see people doing it every day. I'm like, why wouldn't we continue to do that, So yeah.
100%. Thank you for that. You basically ruined my follow-up question, because I was going to ask you, on the website of S1C, it says you want to build a community of rebellious creators. So it sounds like with your community, you really want to rebel against boundaries. It sounds like so. In some of your upcoming projects, are there any boundaries that you're like really focused in on of wanting to sort of transcend and jump over that you feel like haven't been done before?
I think right now it's probably more important to find who it is that we communicate to and for. We're building a brand that's really about progressive ideas and people who step outside of the bounds that society has laid out for us, be it by religion or community or, you know, where they grew up, you know. All of those things sort of put you in a box, and I just don't believe that anyone here or anyone in this life, in this paradigm, deserves to be put in a box. And I want to build a community of people who want to just transcend that, you know.
So just by a show of hands, if you think you could be part of a community that transcends that, if you're a rebellious creator that wants to go over boundaries, can you just raise your hand? Yeah, let's go. Sounds like this just became a really good recruiting event for S1C. I think we got some t-shirts we're going to throw out too. This is the hockey game part of the panel. Any, yeah, we got some transcendent creators here. If you get injured reaching for this, we're not liable. You probably signed something somewhere.
Thanks, cool.
Okay. As the king of abrupt transitions, I want to go to our wonderful friend Illmind for a second here, coming down on the end here. So Illmind, you've worked with legendary people, Drake, J. Cole, Ye, and you've worked within the industry, but when we started talking to you about Squatted Nights and Blap House and your work in the Metaverse, you really talked about it in the vein of giving back. What does it mean to you to give back, and what motivated you to start giving back in this way at this time of your career?
So I think being a music producer, to me, giving back is providing value in any given situation for whatever we're trying to build or accomplish. And I've had the honor and pleasure of having, you know, almost, I don't know, at this point, maybe 18 or 19 years of being a producer. And of course, you know, the first 8 years being broke, but then eventually getting my footing and getting to where I'm at now. And so all of those different scenarios of building things from scratch, I was able to learn and understand what the importance of collaboration and, again, apologies for the buzzword, but community building, right? I think that's why we're all here, is we're figuring out how we could make the world a better place through the conduit of Web3 and bringing people together and finding our tribe. And I feel like that's what a music producer's role is. You know, I'm in the studio, and my job is to try to make the best song possible in 12 hours for that person and with that person. And so I'm, you know, bringing people in and calling people who could play guitar and horn players and stuff like that, and we're collaborating, working together. And so I wanted to take all those things I learned and take it a step further, where it's like, okay, I could do music and I could be a music producer and I can help artists and we could make music together, but what are some other things I can do outside of that that could also bring value? And so for many years, I've always been super interested in, you know, spreading knowledge. For instance, like I started a podcast back in 2011 called Blap on the Radio. Shout to Combat Jack, rest in peace. But
R.I.P.
And that was before people even knew what a podcast was, but it just made sense to me. And then now with Spatial and with the Metaverse, I figured, and meeting Krista, you know, that changed my life because I realized the power of connectivity in the Metaverse and how impactful that could be. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what it means to me, man. It's, for me personally, it's how could I use music and use my experience to bring people together, educate, and hopefully, you know, build something cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Il built this incredible like clubhouse in Spatial called Blap House. It's gorgeous. I think we were showing it to Miguel yesterday. We were getting some mad love for it. And I think M2, Polycount, if you're here, they helped build that. But one of the really cool things that you've done in Blap House is you've had like co-creation sessions where other producers have like literally like shared their decks, shared, you know, music in progress in the Blap House, and you kind of worked with them, almost coached them. Like, I'm just curious how that experience of doing it in Spatial differs from doing it, you know, like in real life and in the studio.
It differs in the fact that anyone can tap in, right? Like I did a session a couple months ago. I did like an interview with one of my producer friends, T Minus, and you know he's a Grammy-winning producer. He's done records for Drake and just pretty much everyone. And so I was like, "Yo, T Minus, come to my Blap House in Spatial, and let's invite like 20 or 30 up-and-coming producers, and we could all hang out and we could do a Q&A." And we recorded it and we put it on YouTube and like playback whatever. And that was just like so easy to just like be able to set that up and bring so much value. And it was better experience. I mean, it was better than Zoom, right? Like, I think the metaverse makes you feel like you're actually there because you are there and you're able to really interact in ways you couldn't. And so the next step above that is how can we use the metaverse to actually compose and make music and share our musical ideas. And I think we're getting closer and closer to that. And we're gonna, you know, obviously with Spatial, you guys make it all possible. So, yeah.
I love it. And it's this idea of co-creation, and now it brings me to Trash. So Trash, you launched your Genesis collection recently. It was incredible. And, you know, you did something really, really interesting, which is you were one of the first people, you basically created a 3D space, but then you sold editions to it to other people to create this community, some of creators, some of community builders. I was just curious, what was your vision for, you know, IsoBlock when you first devised the idea of it? And I was just like, how's it going? Like, how is that process of building that community going of photographers and other creators?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when I first had the idea of launching my Genesis collection around my photography, I knew that I didn't want to just upload something onto a platform and that was going to be it. That was going to be my sole relationship with my collectors and my audiences through this platform and through Instagram. I wanted to create something that was much deeper and definitely community-based. I wanted somewhere for my audience and collectors to go to embrace my work, to see it and to really complete the whole story of who I am as an artist, what I do, and what I shoot. You know, over the last 10 years, as I've been exploring abandoned buildings and hospitals and prisons and churches, you know, one thing that I've always gotten asked is, you know, can I come with you? I'd love to be there and explore these locations with you. Well, these locations are gnarly. They're hard to get to. They're illegal. We're trespassing. We're sneaking around. It's not for everybody. That said, I've always wanted to give this ability to my audience to showcase what it's truly like. So, you know, as, you know, it was actually last year where I met Spatial, and they introduced me to Polycount, who created Illmind Space, who also created MySpace. And, you know, from the very first moment I had an idea, I have a clear idea of that I wanted to create this abandoned warehouse with an abandoned bank vault, a moving train modeled after Chicago. And I didn't even want a front door. I wanted you to sneak inside the buildings very much the same way that I do. So there's no easy front door. One of the second ways to get in is you climb up the roof and you sneak in through the window to get into the main warehouse. Again, for me, it's just about the experience, not just about the work, but me really completing this story as a Web3 artist and, you know, bringing a vision to the table that I've been limited by in the past 10 years. But now I have the ability to express myself in this way. It's been, and to be able to release my collection, I mean, as an artist, as a photographer, a painter, whoever you want to show your work in a gallery, in the real world. And with Spatial and IsoBlock, I've been able to create a gallery to my exact liking and to open it to a world of artists and photographers like myself who don't want to show in some white wall gallery, but in a gallery that's full of concrete and steel and grit and can be a reflection of their work instead of a work of like the entire world. Yeah.
That was incredible. And one thing I want to quickly follow up on that I think is completely wild about the IsoBlock community is that people have taken your creation and started like remixing it and building on top of it, right? So what happened there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have an amazing group of collectors of the IsoBlock community. One of my holders, Jahan, has completely reskinned his IsoBlock to make it look like the city of Seoul. It's just an unreal transformation. Even without the GLB file, he's been able to do the most unreal transformation, turned it from day to night, added new tags and graffiti lights, and through his transformation, he's actually booked gigs of renting it out to other artists for concerts, for gallery events. And recently, even in the last week, I got news that somebody is creating a skateboarding game for my environment. So that's one of the coolest things to see is like a skateboarding game built for an environment that I created. Is just gnarly.
Trash Hand Pro Skater coming soon. Get ready for it.
Get
Coming
ready.
second half of this year. All right, because we've got literally under 2 minutes left. I'm going to be like, give me in one sentence. So over the next 6 to 12 months, we're rounding it out now. What is something you want to do to take expressing digital identity in Spatial to the next level? Maybe you can't even do it in Spatial today, but what is like your dream 6 to 12 months of just something cool you want to do in Spatial to either express your identity or enable your community to express their identity within Spatial? And we'll go down the line, so starting with Krista.
Well, at Zero, with Peter Martin's expertise in creating digital humans for the past 20 years, we're actually working on creating spatialized volume, 3D volumized avatars with AI who can actually answer questions. Like I will be volumetrically captured, put as an avatar in my Mars house, and people can come into the Mars house and ask me questions about the Mars house, about my career, about anything. So if you can bring that technology forward, that means that we can immortalize incredible icons and education, human heritage into the metaverse and beyond.
Dap it up.
Yeah.
We'll do that for you. All our friends,
All
we'll
right.
do that for you.
You don't want to hear my answer after that. Okay. So I think that expression is probably our most human necessity. We have spirit that we're channeling, and when we as artists, we know this. We have moments where we can truly transcend even our own limitation when we're connected to something deeper, bigger than ourselves. And I think in terms of doing that in a digital way, I think giving people the tools to express themselves in the next, I mean, it's happening now all over the place, but I think for S1C, what we're doing, what we want to do is give people more tools to do that. And so in a digital way, in the next 9 months, I think it's about giving them variety that gives people who maybe may be more aggressive in their ideals an opportunity to express themselves digitally as well. So we want to build clothing that speaks to people who are aggressively creative, aggressively progressive, and speaks to those values. Yeah.
Aggressively progressive. Also, let's get that on a T-shirt. Trash. Next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm very much into avatars and Ready Player Me. I think the capability there is amazing, especially for self-expression. I think really right now I'm trying to listen to my community and ISO block holders and seeing who's using it, how they're using it, and even just like the skateboarding game, all these things are factors for me as I build airdrops or avatars that, for a skateboarder or a graffiti artist, the skaters carrying around a skateboard, just things that can be a reflection of the community that we're building. And just, because I am so heavily based in this environment, the digital identity is not just about the avatar, but it's also about the space. So how can I create unique airdrops of things that they can upload to their space that can enhance them and their, overall brand?
Hell yeah. And Il,
Okay.
round it out. Let's go.
All right,
Knowledge bomb.
my answer is going to be very nerdy, so half
Get
the
in the
room
weeds.
might understand, but I would like to see a screen sharing capability where I can just like load up a screen and then whoever's in there can control it by just like touching it or clicking it. I think that'll open up the collaboration even more. Like, so I can, pull up Pro Tools and it'll be, you could see my screen and then say, hey, Miguel, get in there and like, show me where you want a particular file, and then he can actually do it from his headset.
Yeah. if there are any lawyers in the rooms, earmuffs. But yeah, we're gonna do that. So
Oh,
let's
yeah,
make
okay.
that happen.
So let's pretend you guys didn't.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Yeah,
I don't want it. That's actually a terrible,
Yeah.
terrible feature. Probably not possible at all.
I don't know how we'll do that.
Probably impossible.
But I think it's been on like 0-0 for the last 10 minutes, so I've probably blown up the schedule. But can we just get one last round of applause to these incredible, unbelievable creators? And because it's a terrible idea to give me the microphone, I'm just gonna say one last thing, and I'm gonna ask for some applause again. Can we get an applause for Ready Player Me, our incredible avatar partner? Can we get an applause for the Fabricant dropping incredible line of fashion right now that you're gonna be able to bring into Spatial? Truly, truly, truly gorgeous. Can we get an applause for freaking Samsung letting us use this insane space and making that happen? Thank you so much, Samsung. And if you want the real alpha, if you see any Spatial employee or you see a little, QR code on any of the screens, if you scan that, I swear, you probably shouldn't trust me, but I swear we're not gonna steal any of your ETH. But actually, if you do that, this feature hasn't even come out yet, but for attendees here, you'll be able to create an instant 3D visualization of all your NFTs in your Ether Soul wallet in 1 second. So this is a little secret alpha we're giving you as a gift here. You can applaud that. It's okay. You can be excited about it.
Go.
If you see that QR code, scan it. And if your ETH gets transferred to my wallet, thank you very much. No, I'm kidding, but you're going to love it. So thank you so much again to our wonderful panelists. We're 20 minutes over or something.
Thank you,
now
Jacob.
We'll get off the stage, and the next panel is going to blow your mind. So Krista, Miguel, Trash Ill, I love you all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Up to you. Anywhere. All right. So for everyone who is not in the auditorium, I'm sorry to be such a party pooper, but if anyone up there is listening/talking right now, maybe don't talk. No? Okay. Well, so out of respect for the nicest guy that I just met backstage, we have the CEO and co-founder of Ready Player Me, who is here to discuss how to find value in the 3D world. Please join me in welcoming Timu Toke.
Thank you for the intro. I'm glad to hear I'm nice. How are you, everyone? Please welcome our awesome panel. We're going to discuss interoperability. Perfect.
It's a game.
They said there were pictures and we have to align ourselves to the pictures, but there are no pictures. Anyways.
Time to change.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, a little shuffle. It's okay. We'll manage. Perfect. So interoperability is one of the kind of philosophies, kind of the founding kind of pillars of the metaverse, or the Web3 metaverse. And I think that's an extremely important topic because interoperability needs to happen for us to have a big kind of unified metaverse that is not controlled by one company. And that's what we're discussing. That's what we will be discussing today. But to start it off, maybe we can just focus. We can start from the definition of interoperability. What does it mean for you, from your perspective of fashion creators, NFT creators, world builders, and we can go from there.
First of all, hi everyone. My name is Natalia Modanova. I'm a co-founder of DressX. And to answer this question, I have to introduce what we are doing.
Yes, sorry. I actually meant to say, please give 30 to 60 seconds to introduce yourself first, and then we start. I got so excited about interoperability. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I
Intro
tried
first.
to, make it
Thank
smooth.
you.
So yes, at DressX, we are building Meta Closet, which is a wardrobe of digital fashion for everyone. And it means that this is the first place where you, as a person, go to check your outfit, to choose your outfit before showing up in front of eyes of other people on any of the screens. Either it's Metaverse or Sandbox or your account in TikTok or any, like even video call. So that's why interoperability is very important for us. And actually, I'm so honored to be in a panel with such a name. And usually I would be in a panel like the first one today, right? But it means we are delivering on this vision, and the opportunity to show up and be seen how you want to be seen in the spaces where you want to be seen online, just in general. I would say online first, because Metaverse is still yet to be built.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Olivier. I am a co-founder of Exclusible. My background is in luxury, where I spent 18 years. And a year ago, I took the plunge and co-founded Exclusible. So we are an NFT marketplace for luxury brands, but we also create metaverse experiences. So we see ourselves more as a creator of digital luxury across different platforms and across different digital assets. And we're actually very close to Spatial and Ready Player Me, because last Saturday we did a massive drop of 5,000 luxury penthouse in Spatial with Ready Player Me avatars, and it's really cool. And 2 days ago, actually, we launched a chalet version of that penthouse. So in the mountain, in the snow, it's really, really cool. And interoperability, for me, it's very simple. It's kind of the holy grail of Web3 right now. Everybody is working and building towards it. It's simply to have an elegant and seamless experience as a user, where you can own your digital assets and then you can simply port them in different metaverse or platforms without thinking about the tech or the design, and it's all seamless. And yes, Natalia, I agree. Usually you and I are on the fashion and luxury panel, so it's really cool to talk about metaverse interoperability.
Hi everyone, my name is Sébastien Borget. I'm the COO and co-founder at the Sandbox. I'm also, thank you. I'm also the president of the Blockchain Game Alliance. The Sandbox, it's essentially a decentralized gaming virtual world where anyone can make 3D content, as well as all sorts of games and experiences, and monetize them through the use of blockchain technology and NFTs. The way I see interoperability is really that capability of anyone to use their content, their digital asset, on any platform, any game, no matter the actual platform or game they originated from, they were created from. So you can take your avatar, that, as we saw in the previous panel, is actually your new digital identity into virtual worlds, and you're able to use that avatar across any other virtual world as well. But it can go beyond. I think that's really where it gets exciting. We can use the technology here to increase the creativity and possibilities, and even more, just recognize that the ownership of a certain digital asset will give you other use case, other utilities, other representation of that digital asset into those other application or virtual world. And actually, that's what we've done. I'm sure we'll talk more about it after.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. I am the Web 2, maybe Web 2.15 person on the panel, so please be kind to me. My name is Tracy. I'm the Director of Digital Product Creation for Tommy Hilfiger North America. I come from a very traditional design background, having over 10 years experience working for Fortune 500 brands such as Gap, Converse, Armani, and now Tommy Hilfiger. I created one of Tommy's first DPC teams and lead an incredibly talented team of 3D artists that not only create photoreal digital twins of all of our products, but also support the Web 2 digital transformation of our business. And what that means is we fully empowered all of our designers at Tommy to be able to create their product using 3D design, as well as fully empowering our entire supply chain as well. So my interest lies in extending the use of our digital assets, our digital IP, so to say, and seeing what that means for a brand within a metaverse. So I'm super happy to be here. I'm happy to learn from every single person in this room, and more importantly, from all of these incredible folks on this panel.
Thank you. And by the way, people, can you please speak a little bit quietly? Because we can't hear each other otherwise. Thank you. I think that was a great way to kick it off.
Sorry, can you really please stop speaking? We don't hear even the speaker on stage. All right.
I think that's a challenging task. All right, Seb. So I have a question for you about interoperability and how you think about it as a builder of worlds or as a builder of the platform. You know, you have to make resource allocation decisions, and you can either, build a better virtual world, so to say, in your own world. You can build cool features for people, or you can put resources into actually making interoperability happen. And how do you make those decisions internally? And kind of like, how do you think about the value you get as a platform from building interoperability?
Well, we position Sandbox as an open metaverse. So right from the core, our mission is really to enable any digital asset, whether they were made on Sandbox platform or they came from the overall Web3 ecosystem as NFT, to come to life, to become playable, and to have additional use case and utility in Sandbox. So we divide our resource. We have a team that is on one side dedicated to develop the game creation tool and our 3D editor, so we can make like great experiences, games, etc. on one side. And on the other side, we have a whole team called Ecosystem and Avatar team that both work on the technology and the content production, so that most of the external NFT collection can become interoperable. The first way we do that is essentially through avatars. Back to the idea that avatars are the entry point to the metaverse. We think that the main value of Sandbox is actually to enable people to play with their NFTs as an avatar into the metaverse. And as such, we've enabled several NFT collection and communities, including World of Women and several more, like Cool Cats was announced. There will be the Gutter Gat Gang, there will be the Artifact collection, etc. To not just be displayed as 2D art, as we've seen, like that's the simplest thing right now, displaying an image to any metaverse, but really reinterpreting the metadata that comes and generate 3D character with over 70 animation that can run, jump, fight, dance, express themselves. And then they become the person, the character you want to use, and as you explore all those experiences. So it brings value not just to Sandbox by attracting users from the community, but it essentially brings value to all those communities that now have a virtual world, a place where they can socialize with each other, they can exchange, and they can also create more content, more space, more adventure, more games around it.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Seb. And for all the other ones, from brands and fashion and building NFTs, how do you think about it? The current NFT market is quite, NFTs are seen as collectibles mostly. They don't have a lot of utility, which is fine. I like collecting NFTs personally, but also it feels like we need to evolve, from there to take the kind of the mass market into the space. So I guess, like, how do you think about getting there from the point we're now, which is kind of very collectible based, and how important is it? Am I thinking about it in the right way? Yes.
I can start from a very Web 2 perspective. So the way that I see it now is for brands, there's this time period of test and learn, and I think that's really important for brands to kind of understand and get their feet wet within the space. Right now I'm seeing a lot of brands testing what a digital twin is and redeeming the physical and the digital and the virtual and seeing the appetite there for that. And I think that's only scratching the surface of what an NFT can be when it comes and pertains to digital fashion. And I think I'm going to throw out another 3-letter acronym here, but I think NFTs can be a new form of CRM, which is customer relationship management. And there's perks that you could have that don't exist in the physical, that can exist in the digital, and the digital can evolve. And I think that's the beauty of what brands can begin to start exploring with it.
Actually, I want to continue because, yeah, this link between NFT and the physical product is just a bridge for the broader audience into world of NFTs and what it can do and how it can function. And for us at DressX from day one, what was the most important is how you can wear digital fashion. And we were thinking about it, and our first launch was without any layer of NFTs, and we still do a lot of off-chain distribution of digital fashion because our goal is to introduce this use case, introduce the possibility to actually wear. Fashion is something that we can wear, and we can communicate certain things with that. And it has not been revolutionized in a long time, and we still wear physical fashion. Yes, we still do some of handwriting, but we type so much more. We can communicate so much more information and meanings when we communicate digitally through like typing. And I can compare digital fashion revolution. I rather see it as evolution, but it just sounds better, louder. In this particular way that you can wear the digital file and you yourself can be a digital personality. It can be an avatar, but actually, maybe in this room, it's a lot of people. Can you raise your hand if you have your avatar? Yeah, this room is, yeah, it's more, but it's like 50-50, right? Usually it's like 15% raise a hand, but who has an account in social media? Please raise your hand as well. Well, it's like, I don't know, 60%, but we are avatars of ourselves in social media already, or when we take a video call, we are looking at the image of a person, not at a person. So that's why we strive to dress up people across all the spaces. And distribution of these digital fashion items can be happening on-chain and off-chain, and moving on-chain is exciting. And we prepare collection with Ready Player Me, and you can see the preview upstairs on the screens. So happy to share this, and it's the next step for us in the interoperability. But yeah, the bridge has to be built. And yeah, physical is one point. Web2 experiences, like for example, collection that is available in Roblox and in augmented reality in DressX app, and can be distributed on chain as well. That is something that is kind of next evolution before we reach this metaverse and interoperability.
And if I can just add very quickly, so for on our side, when we started building Exclusible, we wanted to build the far-fetched of NFTs, but very quickly we realized that obviously the metaverse was an absolute necessity, and so we actually bought a lot of land in Sandbox, and then we started developing the land to create luxury villas, luxury islands that we sold. And so we always, that's when we realized the NFTs, it's just a layer of ownership within the whole technology based on blockchain. So it's the product, it's the what, it's what you sell. Whereas the metaverse becomes the location, it's the boutique or the experience. So once you frame it like this, you realize how it's very native, obviously, for brands. And then it's the natural evolution of e-commerce. We call it virtual commerce. And so it's the idea that you are every brand is going to develop digital assets that can be worn and displayed in different metaverse. But the foundational psychological mechanism of brand discovery, product discovery, the motivation behind making a purchase are exactly the same as what has been true for thousands of years and what is basically powering the current economy. It's just a new opportunity to go even deeper in engagement and creativity, and that's why we encourage every single brand to go into the space, not be afraid, and just test and learn, because it's very new, but it's extremely exciting.
Perfect. So NFTs themselves have almost kind of a built-in promise for interoperability, because you can own it, it feels like you can use it everywhere, but it doesn't kind of solve the technical problems of making things interoperable. But like, how do you think NFTs have been involved, or need to be involved in making interoperability happen, or why is it just why is it happening in the NFT space, I guess, first? Or how do NFTs play a role in interoperability is my question. Or do they have to play a role in interoperability? I know it was a very confusing question, I know.
Okay, I can jump in. So very recently, we've seen an announcement of the Metaverse Standard Summit, which is like proposing among a certain number of Web 2 companies to establish file format standard as a first step for interoperability. Well, I will not discuss why Web 3 companies have been blatantly excluded from it, but just the initiative itself shows that even between software and hardware and different centralized platforms, there is not even a single common representation of 3D objects. That is a first hurdle towards that. Beyond that, what I feel like is very inherent in Web3 is like people started with the content first, which they bought across various NFT drops, from crypto art and then avatar collection and then into Metaverse. But they always have been looking at like, what more can I do from owning those NFTs? Some of them are looking at NFT gating as a way to offer access to certain services or experiences into both physical world location or virtual world locations. But more prominently, I do think like we're all looking towards like how NFT is going to empower communities to go beyond just that. For me, it's a chance, interoperability, to also engage your users, your fans, to create with you, to co-create with you, and to expand the content into many other locations than you actually initially wanted. It's kind of part of that decentralization and lack of control, or giving up control toward the community, and something beautiful will come out of it.
I can add on it that we can kind of get creative with interoperability and which role NFT play in it. And we practice that each NFT can introduce different use case and different utility. And there can be an NFT that contains a lot of other NFTs that represent different utilities. And yeah, that's the matter of tag behind it, and the matter of usability, because anything can be built, but what's the most important, that it's intuitive for people and that they are actually using it. And building anything, we have to remember it, and building interoperability as well.
Yep.
So what I wanted to say is, I think everyone has to remember that a lot of brands are still struggling through their Web 2 digital transformation, right? And what excites me the most is this conversation is happening right now, so that we don't have to follow the pitfalls of Web 2 and the lack of interoperability. So I think it's a very important conversation to have, and it's one that is genuinely needed. And in terms of co-creation, I think brands, they know the formula of what a collab is, but co-creation is completely different. And I think it's the evolution of what a traditional collab brand with two brands having equity in the game, at how that changes, and really empower co-creators and people who believe in the brand and the brand story.
And on this point, Web 2 versus Web 3, what we have noticed with our community is that they are completely Web3 native, but they are very happy to go back into a Web2 type of environment if there is value for them, and the value has to be created by the brand. So we believe strongly in phygital. We are creating token gating CRM and token gated e-commerce and token gating chat, not because we thought that's what people wanted, but when we launched it, we were very surprised about the success. We actually did it with Hogan. It's the part of Todd's group. It's a sneakers brand. And we facilitated every holder of the NFT to go into the stores to redeem some gifts and to discover the collection. And it was a high success in Europe, in the US, and people had never set foot in those stores before. So to go back to the brand discovery, it's a new way to reach a new audience, to engage with them again through NFTs, as you said, it's almost like a CRM program. And the tech is not there yet, but all these building blocks are being developed at the moment, and it's going to get just more elegant and smarter and more powerful over time.
Awesome, thank you. And the last question I have for all of you is, let's say all those terms and technologies and things happen that we talk about here, and the kind of the dream of the metaverse happens and things go well. What does it mean for the average user of the metaverse in 5 years? What does their life look like?
So just one thing. First of all, I'm dreaming of the day when we stop calling them NFT, and we can find like a more elegant word, so everybody understands what it is. And for me, I envision like in 5 years a super simple user journey when everybody has a wallet, everybody buys NFT, but you don't know you have a wallet, you don't know it's an NFT. It's natural interoperability where you can buy something on a website and it can be ported in whatever platform you want to hang out in.
Yeah, I would really agree about the fact that you don't even know, or you have to call it. It's inherent in a way. Like, just like in the real world, if I buy a pen, I can use my pen on any paper, anywhere, and I can take it with me. I don't have to think, oh, because I moved to a new place, I take it out of my home, I have to change that and reconnect. And surprisingly...
Take your shoes off when you enter a new room.
Yes, your shoes, for example, like I buy a pair of Nike shoes and then I cannot use them outside of the Nike stadium. Like, why? And surprisingly, that's how it's been designed into all these digital spaces and and on the internet until today.
I couldn't agree more. It's a frictionless user experience is my dream in 5 years.
Yeah, so I kind of also brought this notion already that it's in the end all about a person. I don't want to say like user, consumer, or some other abusive words. It's about a person and experience that they have that is easy and frictionless. Like right now, all kinds of protocols would say, let's launch an our protocol, let's launch an our protocol. But really, people don't care which protocol it is on, as long as it works and as long as it brings value to them and empowers them and makes their life experience more rich. And our lifestyle has changed a lot. I think during this 2 years of partial lockdown, we got a lot of new habits when we communicate online, when we create meaningful connections online, and avatars, digital fashion is here to help with that. So that's how I see it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all the panelists. I still need to work on my journalism skills, but it'll be better next time.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming. And by the way, we'll have an after party later as well. If you haven't signed up, ask for someone with a Ready Player Me or Spatial shirt, and we'll give you a link. I think it'll be fun. So see you later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is not over, by the way.
No, it's not. No, thank you to Timu and all of our fantastic panelists here for this discussion. Before we do wrap up, there is one last thing left to do. So I'm actually going to bring our founders panel back up just exactly the way that we started. We're going to end this thing. So they should be right back here. We're going to bring up our founders panel where they have an exciting announcement to make. So how was the event? Pretty good? Everyone had a good time? What we love to hear. We can't thank you enough for coming here to our physical flagship experience here at 837 in New York City. And again, for all of those joining virtually at 837X in our Metaverse or also on our Discord server, we can't thank you enough for checking that out and joining us virtually as well. If you haven't checked out the Discord server, again, that's pretty brand new, so you'll want to make sure you join that. All right, again, we'll bring up our founders panel for a special announcement that we have here this afternoon.
Okay, come to the front, guys. Now, closing this session today in the afternoon, thank you for everybody for being here, but we have this exciting announcement, in this world of collaborations, in this world of Metaverse, expressing your identities. For us, this is a really special moment because we are doing our premiere exclusively at Spatial.io, together with Red Player Me, of the World of Women collection. And much more to come, guys. Much more to come. Bringing fashion to the Metaverse. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, so demos are open. You can finally get your new Fabricant looks. Try them out in Spatial, build your galleries, and come create with us. Congratulations!
All right, that's quite the way to close out this event. Who knew that the weeks fly by, the days fly by, the week flies by. We can't thank you enough for being here for all the festivities throughout the week.
Yeah, wow, what energy there is here in our physical 837 space. If you guys can't see, we have people on all 3 floors of this incredible space. So it's just been such a treat to be with everyone. And so, one last shameless plug for Samsung, because we work for Samsung. If you like what you are seeing we've got home appliances, we have incredible TVs, we have mobile devices in this space.
Lots to check out.
Lots to check out. You do not want to miss Discover Samsung happening right now. It is our biggest quarterly savings event happening now through Sunday. So please go on Samsung.com. Check it out now.
Yesterday we were talking about the hairdresser. That was my go-to, right?
Check it out. I mean, I have an hairdresser. It's amazing. I won't, so just go check it out.
Very envious. So, again, want to thank you all for being here. Everybody for stopping by 837 this afternoon. Again, for those joining virtually, if you're ever in New York City, please stop by and say hello here at our Samsung location.
So thank you so much, and 837 next out. See you next time.